Happy New Year. I've been seeing a lot of New Year's ins and out posts lately, and one of the posts said that situationships were to be put in the out section. Situationships are out. And the person that made the list was like, either we're dating or we're done. And I was like, period. Yes, I love that energy. But I get it, situationships, they're messy, they're complex, they're complicated. Complicated is an understatement. But as the official president and princess of the angel community, yes, I have 2 titles, don't question it, I hereby banish situationships to 2024. All situationships are hereby banished going forward. Because in 2025, dating with intention is in. Situationships, out. Period! It's the law. It's literally the law now. And if you're currently in a situationship or have been in one like I have, don't worry. Like, by the end of this video, I feel like we're all going to be on the same page. I think we all are going to be on the same page. Now, if you've been watching my content for a while, then you know I love a good analogy, okay? I can't help but to add at least one analogy in my YouTube videos. And today's analogy is going to be situationships in video game terms. So, imagine that you're playing Fortnite with a duo, okay? You are carrying the entire match, you're really trying your hardest, your darndest to win, but then you realize that your teammate has been emoting in a bush the entire time. Not even trying to win.
Headshot. Zero.
Or for my people out there who love playing The Sims, yes, I see you, we see each other. It's like you're trying to fill a relationship bar with a sim for hours. You want them to be with your sim so bad. You want them to be the one for your sim, but they just don't want a relationship. And then you catch them later on flirting with another sim, and you're like, holy shit, like, I've been playing a one-sided game this whole time. If you play The Sims like me, I would cheat and fill that relationship bar. But in real life, you can't do that. So, because you're gonna be with my sim one way or another. Like, did you think this was a game? This is my game. I make the rules. Or maybe you're a cozy gamer and you've been grinding Animal Crossing because you really want to keep the specific villager happy. You don't want them to leave. So you're writing them letters, you're gifting them things, you're building the perfect island, okay? But in the end, the villager just ends up leaving anyway. And you're like, did all my effort go to waste? Like, did I waste my time and effort doing that because they left anyway? Or let's say you're Mario and you've spent the entire game risking your life to save Princess Peach, okay? You've made it through countless levels, you've defeated Bowser, and you finally saved her. But when you do, she's like, I guess I'll be with you if I have to. I guess since you're here. I guess it's convenient. Being in a situationship with someone you want a relationship with is like pouring all of your energy and effort into winning someone over only to realize that they weren't fully invested in you from the start. It was never about how much you gave or how hard you tried. It's about what they want. And usually that has nothing to do with you, but I feel like a lot of people have a hard time accepting that. A lot of people have a hard time accepting that when someone doesn't want them, it has nothing to do with them. But I'm going to tell you a story that Sabrina Zohar shared that really puts things into perspective and might help change your mindset or like open your eyes a little bit. Her story was about how proximity and timing can shape relationships. So she dated this guy years ago and he broke it off with her and then he moved away. And he got married and Sabrina was like, okay, that must be the end of it. Like, he must love his wife. But then 3 years later, the guy gets divorced and he goes back to Sabrina and he's like, so you were actually the one that got away. Like, you were the one that got away. And she was like, what do you mean? You literally had me. And he said, I know, but I wasn't ready. And then when I was ready, she was there, like his ex-wife. She was there, but she was the wrong one for me. Sometimes a relationship just doesn't work out because one person isn't ready. And I feel like this is one of the most common reasons, if not the most like popular main reason for why situationships don't work out, or at least for my case, like that was why it didn't work out, because one of us thought they were ready, one of us did not think they were ready, and it happens. And I think a lot of the time it's just due to personal circumstances that are out of our control. But I also understand how hard it is to move on when you are hopeful that like that person will be ready someday. Like, you don't want to move on because you're like, well, what if they're ready? Like, what if someday they will be ready? I saw a girl comment on Sabrina's video and she was like, this makes me want to stick around until he's ready. And I get it. Like, I feel like that is the most human response to unrequited love, because it's like you don't want to feel like a placeholder, but at the same time you're hopeful that this person will want you someday. I think that's normal. I think that's human. But then someone responded to their comment and was like, if you had a daughter, would you advise her to leave or stay and stick around and wait? And I was like, oh damn, like that is so real. Damn, that's so real.
Damn.
Like, what advice would you give to your daughter or your son or your best friend, you know? Like, and I get that it's hard to take your own advice sometimes. Like, I'm truly guilty of this too. But I did come up with another analogy because I love simplifying things and making things easier to understand. So just, bear with me as I give you another analogy, okay? Think of Tinkerbell. Think of Tinkerbell, yes, the Disney fairy. She saw beauty in things that other fairies would just ignore or call trash. Like, they'd be like, girl, that's junk. What are you gonna do with that? It's literally junk.
Lost things? Why are you fiddling with that junk? Well, they were just so unusual. I wasn't be wasting your time with that rubbish. And I won't have it cluttering up my workshop.
But Tinkerbell knew that it wasn't junk. She saw how special it was and that it had value. I think the same could be applied to relationships. Like, just because someone can't see your worth doesn't mean that you're not valuable. It just means that they weren't the right person to see it. And the right person would be able to see your value and your worth, like, right from the jump. Not in a love bombing way. Like they're not gonna, try to sway you and woo you and be like, oh, I love you 5 days into dating or seeing each other or 5 days into meeting. But I just mean, like, they're not gonna need to be convinced of your value. They're not gonna be convinced that you are worth dating or worth being seen as someone that's, like, amazing. Just like Tinkerbell doesn't go around trying to convince everyone that her lost things are treasures. Like, she just knows in her heart, she just has this instinct that they are treasures. And I think that's the kind of energy that we need to bring into relationships. Like, it's like that scene from White Chicks.
Geez, lady, all that for a bag?
It's not just a bag. It's Prada.
You might be just a bag to someone, okay? But to somebody else, you might be the bag. You might be the most rarest, most beautiful bag to ever exist. Waiting around for someone to see your worth and value is a disservice to yourself, because your value doesn't lie in who wants you. That's like you're just sitting on a shelf collecting dust waiting for someone to see your value when you've been a treasure all along. A person who doesn't appreciate what's right in front of them doesn't deserve to have it. Is that a hot take? Is that a little controversial maybe? Sometimes people are unable to see the beauty that's right in front of them, but you shouldn't make that your problem. Like, it's not your job to convince them that it's beautiful. Sometimes they just gotta go on their own separate journey and learn, like, oh shit, like, that thing was actually very beautiful. But it's not your job to try to make them see that.
Your choice? It's simple. Her or me. Pick me. Choose me. Love me.
It's time to start taking people at face value, because the longer you wait around waiting for somebody to see your worth, waiting for that one specific person to see your worth, that's you telling yourself, I don't think I'm enough right now, so I'm just gonna wait for validation. But you are enough right now. You literally are enough right now. Sometimes people are just ready to do things depending on proximity and timing, and I think that that's a very, tough but necessary pill to swallow. And this is not me going back on my video about right person, wrong time being a myth. I still stand by that, okay? I still think that meaningful relationships don't have to rely on perfect timing, because they're built on two people being intentional with each other. They're being committed and they're willing to grow together despite the challenges that might come their way, despite the timing of it all. So if things do work out later, it's most likely because both people were able to show up intentionally and become better versions of themselves so that it could work out. Not because it just so happened to be the right time. I see time as a teacher, not an excuse. If you're someone who's been in a situationship before, then just remember, you deserve someone who is intentional and ready to love you. And I don't think that you should be settling for less. Yes, you should have grace for people, but that grace should not be to overextend yourself, or it should not be at the expense of your own happiness and your own sanity and your own self-worth. I literally, I release you. I release you from the shackles and the burden of your situationship that you may be in. You are released. If you're someone that has an anxious attachment style, then I'm speaking directly to you. This entire video is like dedicated to you because someone else's readiness is not a reflection of you. It is a reflection of them and their choices. And if you are someone with an avoidant attachment, then good luck, babe. And I'm still rooting for you. Moral of the story, situationships are out. So I don't want to see a single person comment this year that they're in a situationship. Because if you do, then I'm just going to respond by telling you that you're breaking the law, and then I'm going to refer you back to this video as a warning. And you only get one warning, so don't f*** it up, okay? Don't f*** it up. Bitch. I say that in an endearing way, like, don't mess it up, like, that's, you're my but not like you're a but like,
girl, shut the fuck up.
I don't want to get demonetized, so I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead. Anyways, you only get one warning, so make it count. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, prove it by giving it a thumbs up, and go on a walk or something. Put your phone away. Do something. This is me projecting. Bye. Aaron, Pierre, that's Mufasa. I need to watch that video. I need to watch it. Oh, she's so fine. Like, oh.